Welcome students. In previous class, we discussed classification of elements and properties, periodicity in the properties of the elements and their positions. In this section, we will discuss chemical bonding and molecular structure. Chemical bonding is one of the most basic fundamental of chemistry that describes other concepts like molecules and reactions. Without knowing the concept like why do atoms combine together, how can properties of the molecules can be understood in terms of bondings, and how do atoms combine together? Why do noble gases really bound to other elements and therefore exist as solitary atom in nature? What is the formula of, why is the formula of water is H2O and not H3O and not HO2? In this lesson, we will study about Clausius-Lewis approach to chemical bonding, types of bonds, bond parameters, resonance structure, VSPER theory, hybridization, molecular orbital theory, concept of hydrogen bond. And this lesson enlightens us with the various types of bonds formed among atoms and the shapes or geometry of the molecules. Geometry has an important influence on the physical and chemical properties of the molecules. And then we will be able to predict the geometry of molecules with considerable accuracy using VSPER theory. Let us discuss one by one. Chemical bonding. What is chemical bonding? This is the force of attraction which holds various constituents together in different chemical species. As we know that atom by itself is rarely capable of free existence, and most of the substances exist as cluster or aggregates of atoms. Any such clusters in which atoms are held together and which is electrically neutral is called a molecule. And the attraction between atoms within a molecule is called chemical bond. It is formed between atoms of a molecule only if potential energy of a bonded system undergoes a fall. That means the potential energy of the bonded system is less than that of the unbonded system. And consequently, the formation of bond is accompanied by a fall in potential energy of the system. And during bonding, what do we observe? When two atoms approaches to each other, two types of interactions become operative. First is the force of attraction between the nucleus of one atom and electrons of the other atom. And second is the force of repulsion between the nucleus of reacting atoms and the electrons of the reacting atom. And we observe that if the net result is attraction, the total energy of the system decreases and chemical bond forms. No decrease in potential energy means no bonding exists. In the late 19th century, it was known that the coordination compounds, formerly known as molecular compounds, were formed by the combination of atoms or molecules in such a manner that the valencies of the atoms involved apparently became satisfied. In 1904, Richard Abegg was one of the first to extend the concept of valence, in which he distinguished atoms as electron donors or acceptors, leading to positive and negative valence state that resembles the modern concept of oxidation state. And he noted that the difference between the maximum positive and negative valencies of the element under this model is frequently 8. In 1916, Gilbert Lewis referred this concept as Abegg's rule, used it to help formulate his cubical atom model, and the rule of 8, which began to distinguish between valence and valence electrons. In 1919, Langmuir refined these concepts and renamed them cubical octet atom and octet theory also. This theory evolved into what is now known as octet rule. Kossel and Gilbert Lewis saw that noble gases did not have the tendency to take part in bond formation, or they did not have the tendency to take part in chemical reaction under ordinary conditions. And on the basis of that observation, they concluded that atoms of noble gases are stable and proposed a theory of valency known as electronic theory of valency in 1916. And this is the original writing of Lewis' idea. Kossel assumed concentric circles instead of cubes. If you want to study more about Lewis' theory, you can read this article for further understanding about how Lewis' theory led to revolution in understanding of chemical bonding. These are the articles. Later, Lewis started using dots as electrons instead of putting them in cubical corners. A pair of electrons is represented by a column and single dot that represents an electron. In the formation of molecule, only outer cell electrons or valence electron take part, and they are called valence electrons. And the number of dots around an element is equal to the number of valence electron. Examples are given here. Lithium, one dot represents it contains one valence electron. Beryllium, 2 electrons. Boron, 3 electrons. And group valence can be determined, or it is equal to the number of valence electron or 8 minus number of valence electrons. Valence electron means electrons present in the outermost shell. Now, what is the idea of Kossel's about chemical bonding? Noble gases have stable outer cell configuration, and negative ions are formed by gain of electrons, whereas positive ions are formed by loss of electrons. More positive charge than negative ions due to loss of electrons. Hence, it carries positive ion. And the ions formed, that means they try to attain noble gas configurations. And the negative and positive ions are attracted to each other due to electrostatic force. The bond that is formed because of attraction between positive and negative ion is called electrovalent bond, and it is also called ionic bond. Let us try to understand that how do atoms combine and what is the octet rule. Lewis and Kossel developed electronic theory of chemical bonding in 1916. On the basis of his observation, they concluded that the atoms of noble gases are stable, and that's why, and then he proposed a theory of valency known as electronic theory of valency. According to him, atoms can combine either by transferring valence electron from one atom to another atom to achieve octet, or they can share valence electron to achieve octet, and this is called octet rule. Now the classification of chemical bond. Chemical bond is classified into interatomic bond and intermolecular bond. Interatomic bond is further classified as ionic bond, covalent bond, coordinate bond and metallic bond. Whereas intermolecular bond is classified into hydrogen bond and van der Waals force. Let us try to understand or discuss ionic bond. An ionic bond is formed by complete transfer of electrons from one atom to another atom. Atoms of metals generally lose electrons, and those of non-metals gain electrons. For example, formation of sodium chloride. Sodium atom transfers its valence electron to a chlorine atom. The sodium atom, by losing an electron, acquires the electronic configuration of neon and becomes sodium ion, carrying a unit positive charge. And the chlorine atom, by gaining an electron, acquires the stable configuration of argon and becomes a chloride ion with a unit negative charge. And the transfer of electrons results in the formation of ionic bond. Here we have used Lewis dot symbols, in which the symbols of an element is surrounded by dots to represent electrons in the outermost shell. Formula of the compound using Lewis symbols are called Lewis formula. Now, what are the conditions for the formation of ionic bond? Low ionization enthalpy of the metal. It means that the metal atom requires only a small amount of energy to release its valence electron. And high electron affinity of or high electron gain enthalpy of the non-metal. An atom with high electron gain enthalpy releases a lots of energy when it takes up an electron and forms an anion. And high lattice energy of the crystal. These three factors favors the formation of ionic bond. High lattice energy of the crystal means in the formation of sodium chloride crystal, the sodium ion attracts the chloride ion to form a ion pair, that is sodium ion and chloride ion. Since the electrostatic force of attraction is present in all directions, and the crystal lattice is three-dimensional basic pattern of points, in which each point corresponds to a unit of the crystal. As the lattice builds up, energy is released, and the energy released when sufficient numbers of cations and anions are present. Now the characteristics of ionic compounds. How can we identify that this compound is ionic? What are the properties? Ionic compounds are generally crystalline solid. And ionic compounds are mostly soluble in water. They have high melting point and they are electrolytes. And a good deal of thermal energy is required to overcome the large electrostatic force of attraction between the ionic crystal. That's why they have high melting point and boiling points. Ionic compounds are electrolyte. In the presence of an ionizing solvent such as water, the electrostatic force between the ions are so greatly reduced that the ions get separated. And the free ions in solution conduct electricity, and on passing a current, the ionic compound undergoes chemical decomposition. And when the ionic compound is melted, the crystal lattice structure is broken and free ions are produced. And it is the free movement of ion which makes an ionic compound a conductor and to undergo electrolysis in the molten condition. And reaction between the solutions of ionic compounds are almost instantaneous because they are reactions between ions. Now second is covalent compound. Covalent compound is formed by the sharing of a pair of electrons between two atoms, and each atom contributing one electron to the shared pair. The shared pair of electrons should have opposite spins and they are localized between the two nuclei concerned. It is usually represented by a short line, that is called dash, between the two atoms. Covalent bond consists of a pair of electrons shared between two atoms and occupying a combination of two stable orbitals, one of each atom. The shared electrons of each covalent bond are counted for each of the two atoms connected by the covalent bond. Covalent bond may be polar covalent bond and may be non-polar covalent bond. Polar covalent bond exists between or formed between two different electronegative atoms, and non-polar, for example, water, whereas non-polar covalent bond is formed between the same electronegative atom. Covalent compounds are generally non-electrolytes and they are found in all three states: solid, liquid and gases. Covalent compounds are generally soluble in organic solvents and have low melting and boiling points, and the reaction between covalent compounds are slow and often incomplete and reversible. A covalent bond is a space-directed bond and it may exist isomerism. Now third is coordinate bond. Coordinate bond is also known as dative bond. And coordinate bond is formed between two atoms by sharing of a lone pair of electrons. But both electrons are shared only by one atom. Coordinate compounds are sparingly soluble in water but soluble in organic solvent. For example, ammonium ion, sulfur dioxide. Let us try to understand the coordinate bond between ammonium ion. The ammonia molecule has a lone pair of electrons. Lone pair means unshared pair, means electrons that are not taking part in bond formation. The hydrogen ion has an empty s orbital. The lone pair comes to be shared between the nitrogen and hydrogen atom. Nitrogen atom is called the donor and hydrogen ion is called the acceptor. And the arrowhead shows the acceptor, and ammonia is a neutral molecule, whereas hydrogen ion carries a unit positive charge. So ammonium ion carries a unit positive charge. Once the ammonium ion is formed, all the NH bonds become identical. In the next video, we will discuss Lewis structure, formal charge, how can we calculate formal charge, and resonance and conditions for resonance. Thank you.